Hello once again, and welcome to the Clear Skies Retirement Podcast with Jay Kirkwood of Secure Financial Management. Jay is here helping people in the retirement space. You wonder, what am I going to do when I get to retirement? I've got a paycheck every 2 weeks now. What am I going to get in retirement? I know I'm going to get some Social Security. I don't know how much. I know I've got a 401k. I don't know what it does. Jay, you're here to unravel that big mystery, aren't you?
That's a lot of pressure on me right now.
But what we want is for you to have that secure, you talk about secure financial management, have that secure retirement. You don't want to have to worry about money. And that's actually where we're going to start on the show today. There was an interesting article in the Wall Street Journal, and it looked at 4 families. And these 4 families had all saved between $1 million and $2 million. They'd done well. Mm-hmm. They were all spending about $100,000 a year. So they have a nice lifestyle. Then they talked to the people, and 3 of these families were still worried about markets, worried about inflation, worried about running out of money. All of the things that we all worry about, even people who had done this well had worried about that. The only person who didn't worry about that was the person who had a pension. So let's talk through that. First of all, walking away from that paycheck every 2 weeks, I don't care how much money you have, it's terrifying, isn't it, Jay?
It's terrifying. We talk about this so much, Randy. It's terrifying for several reasons. Mm-hmm. It's concerning. It's a huge life change. Going from work life to retirement life, having most of your waking hours occupied during the week to now I've got time to fill those hours, mm-hmm. Going from accumulating wealth, growing wealth, contributing to drawing down on it, mm-hmm. Going from having my twice a month, every 2 weeks, however it was you got paid, paycheck coming in, to if I don't have a pension, now I've got to figure it out.
Yeah.
Right. Of course, that's a concern. And running out of money in retirement, by far, nothing even comes close to being the number one concern.
And it's been that way for years.
And it will be in the future.
Yeah.
You know why? Because when you retire, let's say somebody's 60, 65, whatever, when they retire, they retire. Now, they might really be kind of, hey, I'm done working. I don't want to work anymore, and I'm going to move into retirement. But if they had to, if something went really wrong, could they work another 12 months, 24 months? Probably. Mm-hmm. Probably it's not a physical limitation. Am I over this whole thing? Am I sick of these Zoom meetings? Am I sick of
the alarm clock
reports that get put in the trash as soon as I write them? And
the traffic.
All that, right?
Yep.
But probably they're sick of that, right? But could they work if that? Yeah, all right, I can. All right. Mm-hmm. At 85, that's probably not the case.
Right.
Okay. At 80, maybe that's not the case. Mm-hmm. That's where the fear comes, is that let's call it when you're younger, right? When you're 60, 65, the ability is there. You might not want to, but the ability is there. And you're not really at risk of running out of money early on in your retirement. Mm-hmm. When are you really at risk? It's towards the end, right? Mm-hmm. It's once you're further in and you have the risk more of running out of money if you haven't done some income planning, right? And you have also lost the ability to produce income from your labor.
Right.
That scenario is not going to change going forward. Mm-hmm. So that's why I don't think that number one concern is going to change either.
So the 3 things I think people are, they may not be able to verbalize it, but they want protection of their money. I don't want my money to go backwards. Protect me against that market. Protect me against taxes. I need income. I need that paycheck to continue. But they also need growth. You talk about there's no new money coming in.
Right.
But, all this time you've worked for your money. Now they say, now's the time for your money to work for you. So that money, in some ways, has got to kick off some kind of income or kick off some kind of growth, because you can't stick it under the mattress and expect to make it through 25 years.
That's one of the important things we touch on with our clients. We've gone through before. We have a 5-step process, our Get Me to Retirement process.
Right. And
one thing we touch on when we're presenting that plan, right, is that there's got to be some assumptions made in these plans, right? We have to assume, let's put an inflation rate in there. Sometimes people put nothing. I was like, that's not a good idea. But
right.
Should we put 10%? That's probably too far the other way, right? We have to assume something. We have to assume some sort of rate of return, right? It shouldn't be aggressive, but we need to have some sort of rate of return. And we're pretty conservative with that rate of return that we use. But what we also follow up with and say, hey, you don't have to be super aggressive to get this assumed rate of return in the plan. But you can't be in a savings account.
Right.
You can't be in a money market. You can't be in a CD. Right now, you might feel pretty good. You're getting 5% in the money market.
It's
right?
better than we've had in a long time.
A long time. It was hard to
Yeah.
believe that I was ever going to get back to that rate. It's not going to stay there.
Yeah.
Right. So, can you park it there now when you're like, well, I'm making 5% and I have no volatility and I feel good? What's the long-term plan?
So this gets into that conversation when you talk about your introductory meeting, you find out who they are, you find out a little bit about them financially as well,
Right.
and saying, we have this discussion about risk. How much do you want your money to be in the market and go up and down? And there's all these formulas that you'll see online, a 60-40 portfolio, 60% in the market, 40% out of the market. Do you subscribe to those kind of equations that they have there?
Those are all great talking points, right?
Okay.
But I kind of assimilate those to the whole, you need $2 million to retire, or you need $1 million to retire, or who's that message for? Right? Who are you talking about?
Rules of thumb.
And it makes for a great article,
Okay.
right? It makes for a great headline. But the truth is that I've never had one person come in that we've done planning for and any of those stories have fit their mold. Once we
Interesting.
get to know them,
Okay.
once we get to build a personalized plan for them, it doesn't, right? And so could a 60-40 model split be the right one for someone? Maybe. But what it is now probably isn't the right split for you 5 years from now
Okay.
or 10 years from now, right? I have never once in my decades of helping people with financial planning seen somebody get older and say, more risk, please. That hasn't happened. Can we bounce this account around a little bit more? Now that I'm 80, I'd love to see me lose 20 or 30%. That hasn't happened.
Doesn't happen much.
Not
huh?
yet. That's what I haven't seen.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So where do people land then? I mean, when you say, I want 20% of my money to go up and down, does that mean anything to somebody? Or when you look at someone and say, okay, so what we've agreed on here is if you have $1 million, you're okay to lose $200,000. And all of a sudden they go, that's not what I mean at all.
Well, one of the key things you hit on that we make a deliberate point to do is we don't talk percentages.
Okay.
Right? Because the next thing that somebody thinks is, most people, they don't want to say, well, how much is that? Because like numbers is our thing, right?
Yeah.
We're all about numbers and math and stuff. And I always encourage people, ask as many questions as you like, but I know people won't, right? They don't want, I should probably know that. Well, they shouldn't, right? And I don't want to put them in a situation if they say, well, I've got, $1.5 million. Well, what if I lose 20% of that? Oh, 20%, yeah, I could do that. Okay, so 300,000? Oh, whoa. It's very different.
Right there, yeah.
Exactly right.
Yep.
It's very different.
It becomes
it's
real.
It's important to talk whole numbers.
Yeah.
I agree, absolutely.
All right. So that's a conversation that you have when we talk about the introductory meeting, talk about what they want to do in retirement, take a look at what they have, and then that conversation starts to take place. What can damage my money? We talk about when's the right time to see a financial advisor. When you look at that amount that's in your account and you go, that'd be great if it doesn't go backwards. And so now we're kind of honing in. Do you find that sometimes a husband and a wife will have a little different idea of how much they want to have in that market and go up and down?
When have you ever seen a husband and wife disagree on anything, Randy? Come on. Right. Yeah, so managing that can be a handful for sure.
So you're a counselor as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I don't get paid for that part, though.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. I got you.
So this is what's interesting, though, right? We've talked about paychecks, guaranteed income. The only group that felt safe in this were the ones that had a paycheck.
Yeah.
Or
A pension.
guaranteed income, a pension, whatever you want to call it, right? Okay.
Right.
This is what we find interesting with clients. So we do have some that come with pensions, right? Less and less, right? It's just unfortunately the way corporate America has gone. But what we find is we'll have clients coming in and they've got a pension, one of the lucky ones. They're going to have Social Security coming in as well. So they've got two sources of guaranteed income. And we've got our 401k. Now, often the 401ks for people that have pensions are not as high, right? Because just those contributions from the company, if you want to call it, they've kind of gone a few different routes, right?
Yeah.
But what I will say all the time is that the people that come and talk to us that have those pensions, combined with their Social Security, multiple streams of income that are going to provide, that are guaranteed, that will provide for the lifestyle that they're looking for or get them very close, right? Those people, not only do they not worry about the investments in the markets as much, they are happy to take more risk.
Interesting.
You know why?
Because they have a guaranteed income.
They're not relying on that money.
Right.
Right? So that money is, we talked about, we can't stay static. We got to have some growth, right? Well, this individual, Social Security, okay, we can argue back and forth about that being a guaranteed stream of income or not. Okay, we're going to call it a guaranteed stream of income for this conversation. Okay, I've got that coming in, and that comes in the first week of the month. My pension's paid on the 3rd. I've got my bills arranged. I've got a little bit of extra money left over. I'm living the lifestyle I want. And I've got my $500,000 401k or 403b. And I'm going to draw from it occasionally. There's going to be some special trips we want to take. But what happens day to day doesn't really matter to me because I've got this money coming in on the 1st and the 15th or whatever it might be, like clockwork. So the market was up 2% today. Oh, that's great. That's really good. The next day it's down 1%. Wish it wasn't, but makes no difference.
Yeah, doesn't
wish
hurt
it wasn't.
me.
Yeah. You know, most of the time, not even watching it.
Yeah, well, that's where you want to be in retirement. I don't want to be glued to Fox News.
Absolutely.
I don't want to be glued to CNBC.
Absolutely.
I want to be glued to my grandchildren.
That's real retirement.
That's what I want.
Right.
And there's nothing that's saying that 2 paychecks is where you limit yourself.
Absolutely.
Social Security and 401k. There are more ways to develop income.
What's interesting is that all these sorts of different streams of income we have, Social Security, pension, whatever it is, they're all forms of annuities, right? So an annuity is a stream of income that lasts for life, right? Sometimes, for some people, they want to put some of their assets, some of their 401ks into an annuity to guarantee a stream of income for life. Some people don't, right? So that's what we have clients that come in and they're all over the place. Sometimes if you've got Social Security, you got a pension, it depends how big the pension is, right? We have some people come in that they've got some nice pension. I wish I could have a pension like that when I retire. They're getting $4,000 or $5,000 a month in a pension. That's a nice big fat pension, right? That's not everybody's.
Yeah.
Some people are rolling in and they're like, well, I do have a pension, but it's $800.
Yeah.
All right, we probably need a little bit more, right? So with that 401k, they have the option, if they choose, to recreate a pension-like income using some sort of annuity vehicle. Because that's what these things all are, is that there's different names for them. You can call it Social Security. You can call it pension. You can call it what you like. But at the end of the day, it's a vehicle that pays you income for as long as you live. And those are all annuities behind the scenes.
It's what we really want to know, because if the number one question is, I don't want to run out of money, show me how I don't run out of money, it's income will solve a lot of those problems. And developing multiple streams of income, I think, is what we all really want to know. What is my paycheck in retirement? There's a good question. Let's get the answer for you. Find us online at clearskiesretirement.com. There you can schedule an appointment or learn more about Jay and the team at Secure Financial Management. Again, that's clearskiesretirement.com. If you enjoyed this podcast and you want to hear more, you can have it delivered straight to your favorite podcast platform by hitting that like, follow, or subscribe button. Again, thanks for listening to the Clear Skies Retirement Podcast, and we'll see you next time.
Investment advisory services offered through investment advisory representatives at Secure Financial Management, a registered investment advisor. Exposure to ideas and financial vehicles discussed are not designed nor intended to be applicable to any person's individual circumstances. It should not be considered as investment advice, nor does it constitute a recommendation that anyone engage in or refrain from a particular course of action. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. Investments can fluctuate, and when redeemed may be worth more or less than when originally invested. Financial professionals are not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if Secure Financial Management is licensed in your state, please contact their office. Secure Financial Management is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through Wholesalers Insurance. Jamin J. Kirkwood, Texas Insurance License number 1421850.